Whew. Good morning, YouTube. How's it going? So I haven't really decided on a topic today. Yesterday's was gonna be, well, I think today's is gonna be, I didn't do one yesterday, so, I think today's will be social narcissism versus psychological narcissism. I've had a day to think over the thoughts, so it'll be a little better than an improvisation. So with a social narcissist, you have to be careful, because a social narcissist is someone who's solely thinking about themselves in terms of a manipulative way. They're as bad as a psychological narcissist, except that social narcissism may be a self-protective thing at times. A person with poor confidence, etc., blah blah blah, they're super about themselves when they're around people because it's all they have is themselves, and they realize that. Psychological narcissism is somebody who's more likely to be abusive, negative outlook, very pessimistic. Not to get it twisted with depression. Depression can have some of the same symptoms, minus the urge to take care of themselves. It's a lot to process in regards to narcissism. How do I put it? When someone's psychologically narcissistic, it's almost an illness that you can't do anything about. It's up to the person in part, and maybe some medications. You can't cure psychological narcissism with love. Psychological narcissism hurts people. It can't, there's no way it can be used good. It can't be used as a defensive mechanism. It hurts people. It could be, I suppose, a defensive mechanism. It can't be used as a self-protective defensive mechanism. It's always offensive. It's always an offensive mechanism. Whereas social narcissism, it can be a defensive mechanism, again, to shield your low confidence. To be fair, most of you off the internet have the highest confidence level and think you're worth $15 and can't lift tile. You're not worth $15 an hour if you can't remove tile and put grout down. I'm sorry. You just aren't. Like, stop being pathetic and get a bunch of job skills. I'm looking at, like, 14 an hour. I'm 25. I'm looking at 14 an hour. I mean, like, it's not great. It's not fantastic. I have a ton more skills than most other 25-year-olds. Chances are, if you... How do I put it? Chances are, if you're making more, it was a position at the time that you were hired you were unqualified for. You might be wholly qualified now. At the time, you were entirely unqualified for it, but they took you anyway. It's because of qualifications, if you wondered, unless they are from a school or a college or whatever, they don't really matter. You don't need certifications out in the real world. If you want to drive a forklift, just tell them you're certified, and they will put you on a forklift. It's an unethical way to go about your resume. I don't have forklift experience on my resume, as I've never driven a forklift. I have insulation removal on my resume because I can take out your insulation. I could also put new insulation in. And insulation removal and insulation, that's just on my resume just because I've done that for like 6 months. I know how to do it. I learned from professionals in an industry how they did it, and I gained some skills. Now I can start asking for more money, though. I've worked food, I've worked customer service, like, these are things that I've done in my life. I've worked call centers. I mean, you don't have the skills to go out there and demand $15 an hour if you have no skills. That's the narcissistic part. That's where I was saying offline, you guys turned into these big social narcissists of, I deserve this, I deserve that. But what's so amazing about you, first of all? That's the thing. Do you deserve anything? First of all, nothing's ever even deserved in this life. You do everything you do for you, your loved ones, and whoever you're trying to take care of and protect. Other than that, what are you doing things for in this life? I mean, really, a narcissist only feeds their ego. Psychological narcissists, they will only strive to feed their ego. When something defeats that, they will take their anger out on it. That's just a genuine thing in this life. Fake knife, guys. I think I showed this the other day. I can't cut my nose off with it, so it's either super dull or really fake. So don't be YouTube content checking me here. Toy knife, kid's knife. I don't know, guys. It's weird because it's like psychological narcissism means that somebody's getting hurt at the end of the day. Social narcissism means somebody probably needs to be asked what's wrong. Where do you feel undervalued in life? Are you putting enough effort in to feel valued to get an equal exchange out of the relationship? This is something I ask people when they tell me about their work relationships with their coworkers feeling unequal. Well, why does Janelle get special treatment? Well, did Janelle let the boss know that she was going to need to be gone for 3 hours and you didn't? Because that's why Janelle got that, not you. I mean, that's a real thing, is if you don't have a good work relationship with your boss, get out of there. Go. They don't want you. Your boss... Here's the thing in the 21st century. Work is come and go. You can get new work anytime you want it. If your boss is causing you problems, leave. That's not that hard to figure out, people. I mean, really, like, if your boss is really causing you a dilemma, you leave. You don't let your social narcissism, your defensive narcissism kick in and go, well, I've been coming in every day for a year. I deserve that position. You go, no, somebody really didn't value me enough to put me in the position that they gave to this fucktwat. And they just want to watch this company burn. Get out. If your company's not going to stay successful, get the hell out. Even if it's your branch, your store, whatever it is, get out. If they're making bad moves and you are the employee and can see that it's a bad move, get the hell out of there. Don't put yourself in danger for a job. It's like if you got a boss and that boss's ex is calling, and instead of doing anything about the boss and being like, you gotta handle this outside of work time, this isn't appropriate, they come at the employees and they start putting fucking sanctions down on when they gotta be in from breaks. That doesn't help the problem. That just makes it worse for the fucking manager. Because now she got to stick around with security and protection, and all the employees do too. So now they feel more in danger because now there's a bigger threat to them. As opposed to, you could have just fired that manager, replaced him with fucking, I don't know, let's say her name is Tony, and let's say Tony got 10 years of experience in the same field and has been working right beside the manager this whole time. Train her. Let her do the job. She'll probably do better. She probably is hungry. So let her do it. If she stayed around for 10 years, let her do it. Let her take lead. When you put new people up and somebody who's never been with the company and it's somebody nobody knows, yeah, you're going to have a harder time getting them to listen to that manager. Yeah, you're going to have a hard time getting them to take advice from that manager because they don't even know what the system is. If you hire a 19-year-old girl to be the manager of a bunch of 30, 40, 50-year-old men and women, what you think gonna happen, America? I want to know in the comments below. Let me know what your experience has been with managers younger than you. I'll tell you about my time up at this one place. I can't say too much, but my boss's name was Ethan. I ain't gonna give out no last name, nothing, but my God, 21 years old, and they put him back in charge as a production manager. Now, hear me out. Dude was already bald. He couldn't go any more bald from stress. So, like, shit, you already done killed his whole head off. Nah, he chose to be bald. He's in a metal band. He do his thing. Thing is he wasn't a good leader. It was like, instead of showing me how to do where I was fucking up, he just took over and then did it and then moved me on to the next thing. And that was cool. But it was also like, well, now I don't know how to do what I need to know how to do. So it's like, you pay attention, you learn, but then he doesn't come through. Or like, hey, you need to know how to do this. I'm going to come get you after lunch, and we're going to do that. After lunch, took a half-hour lunch. On a day I could have had an hour. Come back early. And, I'm just staying around for a half hour, because... No, he was there. But, like, it's like, when you hire someone younger and who's less experienced into a management position like that, You are willingly saying to the rest of your employees that experience does not matter. You are genuinely telling the employees you have that the experience they've attained on the job isn't important. That's what you're telling them as the employer. And I don't know. I think a lot of employers have changed. The Walton brothers, I mean, from what I heard about the 10, 20 years there, those people was so happy. Like when Sam Walton ran the Walmarts, oh my god, you've never heard of happier employees. These people didn't have to fucking file through the government for benefits. Walmart gave them benefits. Walmart gave them extra money. Walmart helped these employees out to get to a higher pay grade. And so the Walton brothers just cut them because they were paying them too much. I'm here like, that's messed up, America. We really got some problems. I'm just do it with plastic knife. I ain't gonna go out there. I ain't even gonna take this out the door. I'm gonna get shot because I am mixed black, and they're gonna be like, he's a jihadi, and I'm like, no, I'm mixed black. I'm really mixed black. I ain't no jihadi Johnny. I'm fucking, I don't know, fucking whatever insulting black thing you could type in the comments. I'm just encouraging interaction at this point, y'all. Like, I just want to hear people's opinions and ideas. But like, so tying the bad management experience with the younger boss back to social narcissism, psychological narcissism. You try to point out, hey boss, I was ready. No, you weren't. I was standing there ready and waiting for you. Let me ask you something. Psychological or social narcissism in that statement? Because that's really hard to assess. Usually you have to kind of, like, I don't know, granted I've had 6, 7 months or 4 months or 5 months with this dude, and I just got to analyze and assess. So, I definitely thought it was social narcissism at first. Like, I'm defensive about my thing because, like, odd dude like me, and I thought maybe he just had that trait just because. Most definitely not, though. Like, it was definitely a psychological narcissism, which I've been accused of. He was 21. He's 21 and he thinks he really knows how to run a production line, but how come we were backed up every day? How come we had troubles moving the products out every single day, no matter what we tried? I mean, that's the thing, is he didn't understand. I understood better. I'm 25. I've been a lead before. I've been in higher positions over employees before. I know how to also, even as an employee, I also know how to maximize our efficiency. That is something that seems to bug employers, when you can maximize efficiency, and I don't understand why. Because I've had a lot of non-mandatory leadership training in which you learn what your people's skills are, and you learn what they're best at. And when you know what they're best at, you literally go, hey, there's a boulder over there, big guy, can you get it? And then the small one who can count well, you go, hey, there's a stack of boxes I need inventory count on. Can you do that, dude? And let him do his thing. That's the thing, is if you have everybody working their best, suddenly people want to learn some shit. Oh man, that guy's doing inventory all day by himself. Does he need help? I could use a couple extra hours. And then suddenly you got people learning inventory. Oh shoot, that guy's doing put away from the inventory guy. I'm getting tired of the dude you send over to help me with inventory. Can I do some put away? Oh fuck yeah, dude, go ahead, go do some put away. Like, that's the thing, is it's like, people, and people get forced into sometimes, I think, being a psychological narcissist. I think it's a non-natural state of being. I don't think you just wake up one day and are there. I think some people are born like that, very few, but I think most people really, get pushed there. I think it starts as social narcissism. It's defense of yourself. It starts with when your life becomes a lot of battles, and if you're not at that point and haven't hit that point, congratulations, keep moving forward. When that point comes, do not look at it as setbacks. Everybody's going to have battles in their life. I am glad a lot of mine have already happened. If you haven't had your battles yet, I don't think you understand social narcissism coming from that, because when you're constantly battling people, you will get defensive, and you'll get stuck with either, I hate myself, my life, and everything I have, or you'll go, at least I've got me, and I like some of what I got going. And it's the second thought that's going to help you out the most. It's the second thought that's going to... The other thought will come up when you need to change something, and listen. And listen when that thought comes up and you're in a dark spot fighting all the time. Listen, because that means something's got to change. I mean, but with social narcissism, it's a lot easier to forgive someone because it's usually not them hitting you, yelling at you, fighting with you. Usually them going, well, you know, I do work in the, I don't know, oil industry. And it's not even narcissism half the time. It's usually someone making a point. I dubbed it social narcissism because it's easier to explain that than as it, you beating up on people because you feel inferior to them. Which is what people do in groups. When people are in groups, they'll beat up on the person who's biggest in the group just to make themselves feel a little bigger and more powerful. Hear me out. Don't fuck with Shrek, because Shrek can fucking punch all you and your homies out. I'm just trying to tell you as a warning, like, Shrek might be cool up until you fucking call him fat, but once you call him fat, he's gonna fuck around and knock you out. Rockstar. But, I don't know. And I keep finding that, like, the internet keeps turning people into psychological narcissists. I think a lot of it has to do with social media and how it's used. I don't think it's strictly social media. I love Facebook. I've been on Facebook since I was a kid. But I do think it's the echo chambers. I intentionally go watch, even though I lose brain cells, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez talk, Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib talk, because they are my enemies and I need to know what they say and believe. Me knowing their beliefs, I can step forward and go, so what's so great about this Green New Deal? You're trying to charge cows for farts? What? Or farmers for cow farts? That's even more ludicrous. Sorry, I never professed to be perfectly healthy either, and I'm not professing to telling anyone how to live. Just my ideas, just what I think, and just what I believe. I don't care what you believe. I just don't have a reason to. I mean, if you believe what I believe and you want to talk, and you don't believe what I believe and you want to have a civil conversation, I am more than willing. But I will shut down non-civil conversations. I won't disable my comments, but if you come in being uncivil, I'll show you how fast I can go from wanting a civil discourse to trolling you, your mom, your family, your cousin, doxing you online if you get to calling me the N-word. Like, we'll go hard. I go hard. I don't know about anyone else. But that's the part of the internet where I'm open to both sides. I don't have the psychological narcissism. I have defensive, social, more or less narcissism when people are like, you've never done that. I'm like, yeah, I trimmed marijuana for like 3 months of my life. What are you talking about? And I got paid like from like a job that was sponsored and legal through the state. I live in Colorado though. See, and I got into it, perfect example of narcissism is people from outside of my state or who have no investment in living here at the moment were telling me what my state needs to do. Welcome to the exact reason why we shouldn't have legalized marijuana in Colorado. We were happy with our medical marijuana because you couldn't come from California and touch it. Now that we legalized, you can get a residency in like 3 minutes and get working in the medical marijuana fields, and you'll be good. Medical marijuana fields, I don't mean a field of, I would love that. I mean a field as in like a job field, as in the medical end, the recreational end, the growing end, the harvesting end, the trimming end, all of it matters. It's cool. It's all cool, but we should never have legalized. Legalization means that people came here, and there were 2 waves of people. The first wave was awesome, and I love those people from out of state. A lot of people from Virginia, California, Washington, whose kids needed treatment that they couldn't get in their home state. Dope. Come here for that. Come here for that, if that's why. Do not come here and tell me that we need to legalize shrooms. This is a case of social narcissism peaking. A guy from California was saying that we need to legalize shrooms, and that just because I watched a few people, which was like upwards of 20, turn their brain to mush on shrooms and LSD, and I don't mean like literal mush, I don't mean that they became fully stupid, I mean to say that these people lost a lot of rationality. Rationality is important. I'd say more important than having the right to poison your body in any way you want. But that's just me. That's just me. I am not okay with coercively allowing people to, through legalization, put illegal substances into their body. That would be more coercive than legalizing marijuana was. Marijuana, I think legalization has caused more kids to at least try it and come across it. I don't think that's a positive thing either. I think that's bad. I'm not advocating a child using. I'm gonna just state I tried it as a child because of my scoliosis, and it did help, and it was the first thing that ever helped without locking up my spine. That's why I'm a medical patient. Now I look at my highways, and sometimes I really wish I hadn't become a medical patient, because I look at what it's endorsed, and it's endorsed and supported people coming here from California, people coming here from Oregon, people coming here from Utah, wherever, and ruining my state. My beautiful state, my once beautiful, gorgeous state that I was once proud to live in, now is a mess. My mountains are trashed, my highway is trashed. And the thing is, Californians don't clean up after themselves, and I don't really care. Put it in the comments below. But, yeah, don't come to my state and ruin it, and then wonder why we're mad that you all came here. We have a reason. It was beautiful here a long time ago. About 10 years ago, it was really beautiful. In 2009. Now my mountains have dying grass, whittled trees. The beetles have spread because people leaving food out, causing more viability for these creatures that just, these wood beetles that destroy houses, they destroy trees, they destroy bridges, they destroy roads. Anything with wood that can be found, they will destroy. Thanks, guys. And yet, you guys are so psychologically narcissistic, you think my state is better now. You think that my state being blue versus being purple is better. Okay, here's the thing. I liked living in an independent state. I really did. Because it was, at one point, a state that was dedicated to doing the most bipartisanly for the people. So yes, okay, maybe our Republicans did not agree with a better Medicaid or a better food stamps program. Our liberals and our Democrats did, and they delegated. They talked. Things got worked out. But now, it's liberal. Now my state has painted the crosswalks rainbow color for Pride. I don't know if you guys heard that. Denver did that. That was gay. Quite literally gay. I don't even have another word for it. It was just so quite literally gay that it was quite literally gay. But it's narcissistic to come here, and you've been here for 5 years, and tell me about my culture, about my state, where I'm a native. I was born and raised. I know what our culture was like. It was brutal, because we didn't like people from other states. We don't. There's a reason. We live in a place where the cold hurts our face. We live in a place where the cold is so cold it hurts our face. Why would you do that? To minimize your interactions with other people. Put two and two together. We never wanted you here. We legalized for ourselves. We knew the tourism was coming, but we didn't know the tourism was going to lead to long-standing tourism. People coming here for 5-10 years, taking a bunch of money from our economy and then dipping. Sorry, you're a bunch of losers. You really are a bunch of losers for, like, destroying a once beautiful state. I mean, and I smoke marijuana. That's where I'm torn, is I'm like, wow, those are my own people there that did this. The people who I would like to chill with and smoke a bowl with, I wouldn't like to do that with no more, because I look at what my state's become. And they have the audacity to tell me that us legalizing shrooms would be a good thing, when I'm pretty sure people don't need to be driving when they're hallucinating. Granted, no visual, I'll admit, you don't get strong, horrible visuals, but you will, and I'm not advocating the use. You will turn yourself into a 4-year-old, and while you're in that 4-year-old state of mind, you will not be able to function properly, so why would driving be a good thing? Anybody got an answer for that one? But again, it's narcissist, but I'm the narcissist for having lived here and telling that dude, sorry man, I can't hear you all the way down there from the elevation way up here. I just can't. I can't hear those weak opinions. Lions don't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep, and I might have lost my mane, but I'm still a lion, baby, so come on. Like, what it is. That's my thing. It's psychological narcissism you can't even argue with. You can't You can't tell a psychological narcissist, hey, you know, you really are wrong about this, because they weren't in their mind. In their mind, they were right about everything, and you've been wrong this whole time since you started talking to them. So it just becomes one of those things where you just don't even bother anymore. You just give up on the person entirely. Throw the whole baby away with the bathwater at that point. I mean, and social narcissism, you can get through to the person, is my real point. I mean, and it's less of... It's the starting point for psychological narcissism. If that person starts putting themselves into an echo chamber, you've lost them. You'll never get them back, and they're gone. And I've noticed it with social media. I might go get me a psychology degree and do a thesis statement. But alright, guys, catch you later. Leave me a like, comment, a subscribe. Shit, punch the down thumb, up thumb if it was good, bad. I just need to know. I'm gonna start editing them as soon as I have my computer. Alright, guys, talk to you later.